Hello, Colts fan. This is Stephen Hill for Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special debate video. This debate video was sparked because of Ezekiel Elliott says that he's still the best running back in the NFL. I'm going to be covering the top 5 NFL running backs in the NFL for 2020. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe so each and every time I make these videos, you can get the content and debate with me first. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the action. I know that we saw a couple of back and forths on social media between Ezekiel Elliott and a couple of people that were debating if he was still top 5 as far as NFL running backs go. Well, I'm going to give you my top 5 list and just go over some of the criteria that I think make some of these guys top 5 running backs. Now, when I'm looking overall at running back position, can this running back block well? Can this running back take the team in the game over and win these big football games? Can you put the team on your back and lead by example? Can you pick up the big yards? Can you get the big finishes, hitting your head on the goalpost, of course, and scoring a touchdown? How well do you do in the passing game? How well do you do in schemes to be a decoy? So there's so many different things I take into account before I make a running back an elite running back or a top 5 running back. We're going to start this list off at number 5. I'm looking at Mr. Derrick Henry. When you look at what he did with Tennessee and how he took over the last part of that season and became the NFL leading rusher as far as yards go, he got a slow start to the year, a couple of nagging injuries, but you saw towards the end how powerful Derrick Henry can be. When you look at the Tennessee Titans and how they didn't have a lot of weapons to start the year, and you look at Mariota being benched and them having to play Tannehill. Tannehill was more of a game manager, and towards the end of the year, he picked up his pace and started throwing the ball a little bit more. But Derrick Henry was the bell cow for that team, and just exactly what he does for that team, you're seeing left and right. You're seeing how in the playoffs he dominated against a lot of teams. And going into this season, I think they're going to ride that wave. He got a new big contract that reflects he's a pretty good NFL running back. So I think from that sense, that's why he's at the top 5 position. And I think that moving forward, you're going to possibly see him surge up in fantasy football. You're going to see his value go up because they're going to use him a lot more, especially in goal line situations for Tennessee Titans. Coming in at number 4, we have Mr. Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns. When you look at Nick Chubb, he's been Mr. Consistent. If anything else, nobody else on the Browns has been more consistent than Mr. Nick Chubb. He steadily blocks well. When you look at him being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, that's something he's consistently doing each and every week for the Cleveland Browns. And you look at how he can scheme well, how they line him up at the wide receiver position sometimes as a decoy, but sometimes he actually catching the ball. He can do those sweeps where the quarterback gets out and dunks the ball. Some of those patterns that he runs, he's working on his route running. So that's something refreshing, and he's adding tools to his tool belt as the running back to show, hey, I can be versatile. I can be more than just a third down back. I can be more than just a first and second down back as well. So Nick Chubb is picking up a lot of steam in a lot of fantasy football places, and a lot of people are seeing him week in and week out. And you saw him towards the end of the year dominate as well on the ground with a lot of big plays, and he has deceptive speed. If he gets ahead of speed right behind somebody, he gets 1 or 2 blocks, he could be going and hit his head on the goalpost for 80 yards. We've seen him do it a couple of times against a good couple of NFL teams. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to surprise a lot of people, but Ezekiel Elliott is number 3. We've seen Ezekiel Elliott. He didn't fall off a cliff or anything like that. Last year, he still had over 1,300 yards of rushing and catching and things like that. But you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys and what he's actually been able to do. With Dak Prescott last year, a lot of times they normally didn't run the ball because they were playing from behind so much. So seeing Dak Prescott throw for almost 5,000 yards and Zeke running for almost 1,300 yards, you're seeing just exactly what happened. And I think that that doesn't tell the full story, if you will, about what Ezekiel Elliott can do. But when you're down 14 points and it's in the fourth quarter, you're not going to run the ball a lot. You're not going to get those opportunities like you would if you're up by 10 points and you're trying to close a team out, like we saw earlier in Zeke's career when he had that top offensive line. You're looking now at the Cowboys. This is a year where they can make a statement in so many different ways, and you're looking just how Zeke could be the focal point of all of that. You look at them having a wide receiver position upgrade with CeeDee Lamb and things like that, but I think they're going to go back to the bread and butter and give Zeke the ball a lot more in rushes and things like that. So that's why I have Zeke at number 3. Coming in at number 2, I have Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants, the kid out of Penn State who has hit the NFL scene. And when you look at him being able to catch the ball extremely well, him being able to run the ball, he gets these little sweeps. He gets these little bounce out runs, and he'll hit you for, boom, 80 yards in one play. Boom, 90 yards in one play. And, you know, he has intangibles that are incredible when you look at just how he is the focal point for the New York Giants as far as their offense goes. If he doesn't go anywhere, they probably don't win the football game. If he doesn't catch the ball, they're probably not winning the football game. But Saquon, oftentimes, the Giants don't have a pretty good offensive line to start with. He creates a lot of his own magic and really gets out there and fights off 2 or 3 defenders behind the offensive line of scrimmage, and then he's gone. You know, just seeing how when they get him out and you seeing him work a little bit more with kickoffs, punt returns, things like that, Saquon is a really special kid. And just seeing his physical intangibles and the gifts he has on the field and how he gets nicked up a little bit, but when he's on the field, he's a top tier guy. He's a top 3 NFL running back. And just seeing how he lifts that NFL New York Giants football team when they're down. I mean, he's a bright spot. When you watch him on tape, you watch him on the coach's film, he stands out. He pops, and it's like, they tackled him for a loss of 3. Tackled him for a loss of 2, and then boom, 80 yards, touchdown. So he has that kind of spark. He has that kind of emotional thing that can be built around a Super Bowl winning running back. So that's why I feel Saquon is number 2, and I think that you're going to see another step in his growth in the maturation of Saquon Barkley this year. And I think that he's going to have the New York Giants in a pretty good spot to possibly challenge in the NFC East this year. So last but not least, we got Run DMC, Mr. Christian McCaffrey himself. You're looking at what he did, MVP-like numbers in Carolina with no Cam Newton there. You're looking just what he did. He was their only weapon, essentially, and he carried the team, setting new marks for running back, setting new marks for receiving. The kid is special. When you look at things got dicey in Carolina and his play got more and more consistent, there was questions about him coming out of Stanford. Was he big enough to take a pounding in the NFL? Was he going to last? And let's just be honest, a lot of people say because he's a white running back, he probably wasn't going to last. So he's proven a lot of people wrong. He's proven a lot of doubters wrong, and he's carried the Carolina Panthers team. My only concern for him, I think Carolina needs to find a couple of more weapons to put around him so he doesn't wear down so quick. But game in and game out, both 1,000 yards, catching and receiving. I'm thinking he's going to reset because he got paid a lot of money. He's going to reset the market as far as production. And I think that he's going to be able to catch. He's going to be able to do different things. Running the football is easy for Christian. He can do it between the tackles, outside the tackles. He's essentially making the Carolina Panthers look good, even though their line isn't the best. And he's carrying this football team to any wins that they're going to get. Even though they have Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback, I think that Run DMC is going to be the reason why they're winning all their football games. And the production starts and stops with him. And he proved last year he could carry a team and carry a league on his back with what he did and made Carolina Panthers football worth watching anytime he was playing. So that's my top 5 list. What do you guys think? Leave your top 5 list in the comment section below. Let's debate that. Let's get it going right now. And don't forget, subscribe to YouTube /Sports Choice Plus. And we thank you so very much. And until next time, folks, please be safe and mask up.